So my dad makes me get up and go to work the next day. And I'm there and I'm looking over my back the whole time. I know I'm about to get fired. I walk in, nobody talks to me in the morning. I thought, well, they need some time to get a sub together, so they're probably going to come at 10 on my break. 10 o'clock rolls around, nobody comes by. Well, maybe they were waiting till lunch. Lunchtime comes, nobody talks to me. So they're probably waiting until after school. I can clean up my stuff quietly. I won't make a scene. And then they'll let me go. Nobody talked to me. Nobody ever talked to me about the situation. I was ready to give up my whole career because of something that I blew out of proportion. So I had to realize that I just can't make a decision or listen to what somebody else says before I make a decision. So don't make things bigger than they are, because that's what causes more stress. So Albert Ellis, he has this equation. You have your activating event plus your beliefs about the event equal your consequences. Okay? Whatever, if the event happened. So the event happened that the teacher, my former teacher, was upset. My belief was she had enough power to make me be in trouble, or maybe I was in the wrong. My consequences, I lose my job. Okay, so my belief is I shouldn't even show up to work. I don't have a job anymore. It's the consequence. Let's say the activating event is my teacher gets upset with me, tells me I don't have a job. My belief is, okay, maybe I made a mistake. Maybe I shouldn't counsel students like that. I still get up and I go to work, go to talk to the principal to be prepared to make a change in my teaching. My consequence is I still have a job and I still have a career. What you believe about the activating event has a lot to do with the consequence of the event. So resilience is a person's ability to return to the state of normal, to bounce back. Okay? If my son and I walk down the stairs and we fall, one of us is feeling less of an impact than the other. I'm going to be hurting for several more days, and he's probably only going to be hurting for a few more minutes. Okay? His ability to physically bounce back is better than mine. Okay, we have physical resilience and we have mental resilience. Okay, and so some people can just bounce back easier than others. Some of this has to do with their psychological hardiness. Psychological hardiness is going to be that buffer against the negative effects of stress. So it's characterized by three things: by your commitment level, your challenge level, and your locus of control. Your commitment level is how committed you are to things when they get tough. In marriage is a great example. Some people are not committed at all. These shows, Love at First Sight, they'll get married without even meeting somebody. And so their commitment level is not really that high. Well, if it doesn't work out, we'll just get a divorce. Not that big deal. But my husband and I, our commitment is divorce isn't a thing. It's not an option. And so when we first got married, we got into this silly fight. I don't even remember what it was about, but I guess it was probably over my shoes. He had thrown my shoes to my closet and I didn't like it. And so I was so mad, but I couldn't leave the house because I didn't really have anywhere to go. And I couldn't sleep in a different room because we didn't have a different room. And so I just built this pillow fortress between the two of us. And I was really proud of myself. And I went in and I went to lay down and he threw the pills and he's like, "Really? This is what you're doing?" So I was so mad and I went to bed. And the next morning I woke up and I totally forgot I was mad at him. And he was laughing. He's like, "Aren't you mad?" And I was like, "Oh, I forgot I'm mad." Okay. Our commitment to our marriage is so strong that an argument is not going to break us up. Okay. We are committed through and through. And so when the going gets tough, we're committed to sticking it out. The challenge level, when it gets challenging, if we're committed, if we're willing to take that challenge, then we'll push through. If the challenge is too hard and we don't think it's worth it, then we won't push through and we're unable to recap or to beat the negative side effects of that stress. And then who we give control over to, our locus of control. Where do you place those attributes of control over your situation? If you have an internal locus of control, you perceive that your own actions, decisions, and efforts are the result of your destiny. Your hard work got you where you are today. Your belief that I control my life is shown through that internal locus of control, through your personal efforts, your decisions, all of that. An external locus of control is that other situations and other people hold power over you. such as fate, luck, the environment, other people, how they control their lives, external circumstances. You have a lot more control over your life if you believe in an internal locus of control. If you believe in external, that's okay, but you're giving your power to fate, to luck, to something external, and you have less control over that situation. Having a sense of humor will decrease your stress level. It is important for you to take some time to laugh. Recognize when things are funny. Laugh at things. It protects you from a lot of the negative effects of stress. Sometimes things may be so bad that all you can do is just laugh. It'll make you feel better, okay? Mentally and physically. It's good for your short-term and your long-term memory. It's good for increasing endorphins, relaxes muscle tension. It makes you happier. You feel better. It eases pain, increases your immune system, decreases your anxiety, and increases your overall happiness. Doctors and psychologists all agree that laughter is very important in a happy, healthy life. It will help with so many things: relax your muscles, improve function of blood vessels, increase blood flow, decreases your stress hormones, and increase your immune system, those infection-fighting antibodies. So take some time to just laugh. Watch a TikTok. Watch a funny movie. Recall your most embarrassing moments. Look through old photographs. Spend some time with someone that you love today. It's important. I had a really good friend that her mom and dad both got ill at the same time, and it was super stressful. She was an only child, and so she scheduled 15 minutes a day to just watch something funny because that's all she could do. So it's really important that you take some time to laugh. I'll let you look over these for a little bit. Maybe get a little laugh in today. You have to find ways to cope with your stress, okay? Attempt to manage the internal and external pressures by changing the way we think or behave. You have to have healthy coping strategies. These are methods that we deal with stress. If our way to deal with stress is just eating, that's causing more stress. If we eat, we don't usually make the best decisions, then we're upset because we've gained weight and all this. But what if our coping strategies were cleaning house or exercising? Yesterday, my mom was so upset with her kids and she was so stressed out at work that she went to exercise. Well, that's awesome. She's burning calories. She's getting that frustration out. She's building her mental health, making endorphins go and to make her feel better, all while doing something beneficial. She could have sat down and ate a candy bar, but that probably would have added more stress to her situation. Self-efficacy is the degree to which one feels competent in their ability to cope with and reduce the amount of stress experienced. Our belief that we can make things happen through our own efforts is our self-efficacy, your self-confidence. It's really important and it impacts your stress level. Learned helplessness is another interesting aspect where we have learned or taught someone how to be powerless to anything they do in their situation. Teaching them to not overcome obstacles is learned helplessness. If you think about a butterfly, when they become a caterpillar, or when they start out as a caterpillar, then they go into their chrysalis. If you go and you help one, they'll die. My dad was watching this butterfly come out of its chrysalis, and he wanted to help it. And so the butterfly, as it was coming out, he opened up a little bit of it, and the butterfly fell out, and it died because it couldn't fly. The butterfly had to go through the struggle of opening up the chrysalis to strengthen its wings. Without that struggle, it was going to die. We cannot teach people to be helpless. Learned helplessness is a possible cause of depression. We have to teach people to overcome situations so that they can feel more self-esteem and they can be confident that they can overcome things, because life is not easy. We don't want to teach learned helplessness. Social support is also really important. A fundamental human motive is the need to form and maintain strong, stable relationships. We learned this through COVID. We need people. We need to be around them. We need to be touched. We need to be loved. We need that emotional comfort, that social support. Okay, there have been a lot of people who are serial killers or the Unabomber or different things that have been credited their mental health issues to not being touched. And I'm not saying in an inappropriate way, but being hugged, being held, told that they were loved. Okay, and all it takes is just a little bit of time and effort, a little bit of time spent with people, and it can decrease our stress, and it can make us feel better and give us purpose. So if we have stronger social networks, we're going to have a better mental health, and our likelihood to survive is higher than those who have weak relationships. So research shows us all the time that people who have social support live longer, and it boosts their immune system and reduces blood pressure. You also need to take some time to exercise. We've been told our whole lives that exercise is healthy for your body. It's really for your mind. It decreases stress. It helps with so many things and is very important for you to do. It just also benefits your body. So it's important that you take some time to realize how stressed you are and do some exercise. It can be something as simple as walking. Start for 10 minutes. Maybe walk 10 minutes 3 times a day. You don't have to do something crazy like CrossFit or UFC fighting or anything. Just any way that you can exercise will move the blood flow, bring oxygen to your brain, helps you to think better and clearer, and decreases your stress. Also finding ways to relax, whether that's through meditation, through relaxation. Your meditation doesn't have to be a spiritual journey. It can just be sitting and thinking about nothing. Okay? It can be praying to whoever you worship, and that's okay too. But you want to take some time to learn to reduce your stress so that you can reduce your blood pressure. And then you have biofeedback. It uses electronic equipment to measure a person's involuntary activity, which then can help you gain control of the level of voluntary control you want to have over these processes. Happiness is pleasant life, meaningful life, and good life. All 3 of these combined can give us genuine happiness. Okay? The average person tends to be relatively happy. We find that other countries can be the happiest. Denmark is one of the top, one of the happiest countries. America is ranked 17th. Some of these factors that are connected to happiness are how old we are. As we get older, we realize things are really not as big of a deal as we thought they were. As we age, we have better life satisfaction. Our family and social relationships are very important. Married people report being happier than those who are not married. It doesn't really matter what the sexual orientation is of the couple. It just matters that being married is happier than those who are not. Having high quality social relationships and strong support networks also correlates with happiness. A certain amount of money correlates with happiness. We find that I've heard over 70%, 70,000, but even to 75,000 is new research showing if you have 75,000, your happiness doesn't increase anymore. So having a certain amount of money so that you can pay your bills and not be stressed out about that if you become ill decreases your stress. But having more money does not provide more happiness. Religion provides a lot of happiness. It makes a difference in us if we have a purpose, if we're connected to something. So it is important for you to get connected so that you have purpose. You can decrease your stress, increase your social network. And then culture. If we are living in and possessing characteristics of our culture, we tend to be happier. People who are often poor at predicting, they're poor at predicting the intensity of the duration of their emotions. So we think that happiness is determined by events that happen, but really we can be happier by just realizing that doing things is fun. People who win the $1 million in the lottery typically are not any happier than those who didn't win. So it's really important to realize that events don't necessarily always determine our happiness.